What does your vision of Rogue One or your vision of the Star Wars universe bring to the table that maybe other Star Wars stories haven't yet, or maybe even overlooked?
I mean, you don't set out to sort of go, oh, we're going to give it this stamp. But as you explore the idea in the story, things like bubble to the surface. And a word that got used the most probably was real, like trying to make it feel authentic and natural. And so we have a style to some of the camera work that's a bit more embedded, like a war photographer in a war situation. And so there's a little bit of a documentary vibe about some of the footage, and it really puts you in the front line with the soldiers. But then to me also Star Wars is that classical, epic, cinematic, style of directing that I feel like if I went away from the film and hadn't got a lot of that in there, it wouldn't feel like Star Wars. And so we tried to sort of thread the two together, and yeah, I mean, hopefully we got it right, we'll see.
Rogue One isn't about the Jedi, obviously, but the Force seems to be embedded in the story with Vader, Kyber crystals, the moon, Jedha. Why is that, and how important is the Force to the story?
I think without the Force, as a kind of spiritual kind of bedrock of Star Wars, it's not really Star Wars. And so we knew that we didn't have, specifically the Jedi in the movie because of the timeline that we're in, but I wanted that belief, and I wanted it to be talked about and brought up. And so one of the places we made sure the characters would go through was like the Star Wars equivalent of Mecca or Jerusalem, like a place, like a pilgrimage that people go to who believe in the Force. And when we get there, it's oppressed, and it's the Empire have taken over, and so that was a way. I feel like it's at that particular point in the story, people are losing their faith in the Force, and this feeling of like no one's coming to help us. It's all a load of nonsense, and we've got to do something ourselves.
Gotcha. You've been on this project for years now. It's a lengthy development. From those early pitches and that early script, which character or story element has changed or evolved the most up to the final?
You mean which one's changed the most?
Yeah, throughout the process.
Probably, if I look at the poster and I go, which one's the most different to how we started? It's probably Bodhi, Riz's character. We just knew we wanted a character that was like in a war that wasn't supposed to be there, a bit like because what happens is you go to Star Wars and you like to think you're Han Solo or Luke Skywalker or Cassian or Jin, and the reality is you're not really, and you're more like Bodhi. And so I wanted to put someone in there that kind of reflected that. He started off like the sort of Dennis Hopper in Apocalypse Now type character, and it just evolved because Riz is so fantastic. He just brought loads of ideas and things to the table, and suddenly it was like, okay, we should be reacting to this because this is really strong, and so it changed quite a bit for him, I think.
As a devout fan of the franchise, of the lore, are there any elements or maybe stuff in this universe that don't fit this story but you'd love to be able to explore if there was another movie down the road, sort of thing?
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, I love all the stuff from the original Star Wars film, so and the trilogy. So anything that went there, I would be excited about. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of rumors online, and actually, weirdly, working in Lucasfilm, you don't know. Like, people ask you, like, is this happening? Are they going to do this? I don't know. They don't tell me. Like, you're just kept in your own little bubble of your own little film, and then if you do something that's going to affect another movie or something like the animated series or graphic novels, we'll talk about it. But I, as a fan, looking on the internet, nothing to do with Lucasfilm, I kind of go, ooh, Obi-Wan Kenobi film, that'd be cool,